Hello, welcome to today's class. Basically, we had two topics. First one was your poverty anywhere is a threat to plenty everywhere, and another was your fourth industrial revolution. First, we'll discuss on this topic. See, if I have to start with this topic, I can basically see that and basically think of one and only one aspect that has impacted us a lot was the story of the Ajmal Amir Kasab. I can begin an anecdote like this. Remember that Ajmal Amir Kasab was poverty ridden, and this poverty, as a result, he was recruited by the terrorist organization. He was brainwashed, and he was sent to India to create the 2611 episode. Now, remember this: the demand of the essay is that you have to describe that poverty anywhere is a threat to plenty everywhere. This I remember was the 2015 question. Now, remember this. What are the keywords that we are taking? The keywords number one is poverty. This is number one. And how it is a threat to plenty everywhere. But poverty has to be described as a keyword. Next, the demand of the essay. First, within this demand, first of all, is the introduction. Within this introduction, I want you to explain at least what does the total theme, what does this total theme means? How exactly poverty is threat to plenty everywhere? This is number one. Number two, what do we want to write in the essay? What exactly do we want to write in the essay? Means, what do you want to explain in this essay? Do you want to explain the concept of terrorism, or do you want to explain how the concept of poverty, how it affects the health? Each and everything has to be written down. Next, within the body, first of all, we need to explain what do we understand by poverty. And remember that when I say poverty, you have to take the MDP concept. What is MDP? It's nothing but multi-dimensional poverty. This is called your MDP. Multi-dimensional poverty means poverty which is beyond your income, beyond your food. It's more than that. First of all, I would say that it's roti, kapda, makan, okay. But it's also include your education and it also include your health. Next, remember that how the poverty anywhere, and how the poverty and health issue you have to connect with the Ebola. Remember that Ebola took place over there in Sierra Leone. Now, Sierra Leone is one of the poverty stricken countries in the Western Africa. Now, how come the Ebola which started in the Western Africa created a threat where? In USA, in the entire Europe. You need to explain this. Next, remember that how poverty with education. See, in Afghanistan, we have a Taliban over there. Now, Taliban basically are nothing but those are fundamentalist people who think that anything which is against the Sharia law is haram or infidel. Hence, and and it's a lack of education that actually has strengthened such kind of a philosophy. And that is nothing but this education, they do not get it because of the poverty. The country is in a poor state. Poverty, no education, growth of Taliban and terrorist organization. Simple. Now, next you have to link with poverty and environment. How? Think of it. See, basically today we have the Wuhan case. You can basically take the Wuhan case. What happened in the Wuhan case? See, we have the COVID-19. The COVID-19 basically had spread from the wet market of China. Now, what is this wet market? This wet market is nothing but the market of the wild animals that China started selling or allowing its people to sell this wild animal because they fetch more money, and this was helpful in getting rid of poverty. But this couldn't be a permanent solution, as a result of which poverty existed, it affected the environment, as a result of which again health issues. Again, with respect to the poverty, again remember that whenever there is poverty, there is excessive dependence upon your environment, and this excessive dependence upon your environment leads to deforestation. What is the example? Within this example, I can cite the example of your Somalia. What happens in Somalia? See, the entire Somalia, the deforestation has been taking place in a huge and a massive scale because of the poverty. Now, how? See, remember that which environmental degradation being taking place in Somalia will affect the entire world. How? See, it's basically reducing the carbon sink. What are carbon sink? Nothing but your forest. With the reduction of the forest, what happens is that the global carbon dioxide levels are not reducing. So this is one of the major reasons how poverty leading to environment is leading to deforestation. Example is of the Somalia. How poverty is leading to civil war. Example is of the Libya. See, Libya was under Gaddafi, but after the death of Gaddafi, what happened? The entire Libyan economy has been in a distress. As a result, there have been political rivalries, political faction, and the entire West Asia has been disturbed by this. See, apart from Libya, you can also take the example of your Syria. See, one of the reasons of the Syrian this revolution took place was there was a, first of all, remember that there was a religious conflict within the Syria, but above all there is a poverty that has been arising in Syria because of your civil war. We can basically turn this one. It is the civil war of the Syria that has led to poverty, and this poverty has led to mass migration in Europe. Think of it. Poverty anywhere is threat to an entire continent. Just the Syria, just the Libya. In all these places, what is happening is that Syria, Libya, what is happening is that the poverty-ridden situation has led to mass migration, and this mass migration has been responsible for the rising pressure on the European continent on to feed on the refugees. Next, poverty, terrorism, as well as Amir Khasab thing has been explained. Next, how poverty is helping the Naxalites in Odisha. This is an important thing. You can give the example of a Chitrakonda. See, this Chitrakonda dam, this is the area where basically it's a Naxal hotbed because of the poverty. And remember that it is the Naxalism that has affected 15 districts of Odisha. Poverty anywhere is a threat to plenty everywhere. See, when 15 districts of Odisha are affected, this 15 mineral based districts of Odisha are affected, what happens is that the development cannot take place. And development of Odisha will also lead to the development of India. Think of it. So it's the poverty, Naxalism, failure of development. Connected. Next. You can go on for the poverty and the Jammu and Kashmir situation, that how the poverty in the Jammu and Kashmir situation has basically aggravated the situation, has aggravated the political turmoil. Next, what is the government doing? Poverty eradication program, employment generation via Manrega, education, remember that. With respect to health, Pradhan Mantri, we have this, we have this health insurance, that is the Ayushman Bharat Yojana of 5 lakh rupees that is being allotted per family. Again, we have the infrastructure. And what do you mean by infrastructure? Basically road. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana is one such example. Next, see, within this, please include the Odisha's Harishchandra Yojana. Why? See, Odisha's Harishchandra Yojana is a unique thing because the Odisha government realizes that poverty can also occur because of the culture. There can be cultural poverty. Means, see, whenever a person is getting married, he basically borrows a whole lot of money and is not able to repay, resulting in poverty. Sorry. Similarly, when a person dies, rituals are also being taking place. What rituals are taking place? Basically, calling of people, throwing of a feast. Again, this leads to poverty. Now, in this context, when the government is giving them the Harishchandra Yojana, basically it's taking care of the funeral, ambulance charges, etc., which actually the poor couldn't take place, couldn't actually resolve. So hence Harishchandra Yojana is one such scheme that you need to mention of Odisha government. Now, what can be done? Remember that we need to focus upon manufacturing, because manufacturing is the only thing that can create job, nothing else. We have been heavily dependent upon the service sector, and the service sector doesn't create a whole lot of job when compared to manufacturing. We have to focus on manufacturing. We have to focus on agriculture with high valued crop, like your sugarcane, horticultural crop, etc., etc. Next, utilizing the available resources. See, most of us, we have to utilize the available resource to eradicate the poverty, be it in any form, malnutrition or anything. We cannot eradicate poverty by using external things. For example, see, supposingly in a particular area there is corn which is growing, but all of a sudden we start supplying over there rice. Now rice not necessarily will, right, rice, what will happen, it will lead to health issues, because people who have a particular diet or who have a staple diet, they cannot particularly change onto that diet. Now health issues added to the macronutrient definition deficiencies will obviously lead to your, yes, will obviously lead to your what, poverty. Hence utilize the available local resources to resolve the poverty cases. Next, last but not least, it's your entrepreneurship. See, remember that entrepreneurship is basically the very thing that the government is depending. Make in India, again that is your skill India, again that is your startup India, stand up India, exclusive program which are helping and promoting your entrepreneurs so that they can create job, because government is out of jobs, no more government jobs, there very less number of government jobs are being taken up. Next, infrastructure based investment. What is this infrastructure based investment? Build up the roads, built up infrastructure like your irrigation, etc. Now this will actually generate employment, and which can help in resolving the poverty. And remember this is one of the quotes which was given by Kalam: building capacity dissolves difference, it irons out inequality. This quote you can utilize. Next, let's go to the fourth IR. See, within this fourth IR itself, first of all, understand the meaning. See, what is this fourth IR? See, first of all, the fourth IR is nothing but your cyber and physical system, means development of the Internet of Things, IoT. The third industrial revolution was basically your electronics, IT, nuclear power, etc. The second industrial revolution was your mass production, electricity, development of the ICE, that is your internal combustion engine. The first revolution was your mechanization, development of the steam power, water power, etc. See, first of all, now if your concept of this is clear, then only you can write the essay. But if this is not clear, then that would be difficult for you to write the essay. See, first of all, within the intro, you need to take up that what actually do you mean by fourth industrial revolution, and why it is called the fourth. What was the first, second and third generation of industrial revolution? Now within the body, you have to write what do you understand that what actually is the fourth industrial revolution, which includes the Internet of Things, which includes your internet itself, which has enabled the communication system, and then advancement in the space technology also has to be taken as the fourth IR. Next, what is the impact on the economic development? See, within the economic development, first of all, define what is economic development. Without defining economic development, do not go for writing the positive and the negative point like we used to do. Define economic development. Economic development is the bottom-up development, or the development that is taking at the grassroots and which touches the each and every section of the economy. Next, come to your what are the positive impacts. First of all, in the health, how telemedicine, recently you can see of the online COVID, and that how telemedicine in the form of AIMS has started this telemedicine service. Next is your online education and how it is resulting in economic development. See, first of all, these are cheaper. Next, this helps in cost saving. Next, it generates new employment in the service sector. This is very, very important. Next, it empowers the women. How? Helps them in the skill development, helps them to work from home, which they rarely can do, hence bringing the women into the labor force. Next is your agriculture sector. Within the agriculture sector, you can talk about the M-Krishi app, that is nothing but the fourth industrial revolution, that is we are using the mobile technology to give the farmers information regarding the weather, regarding the fertilizer, etc. Utilization of the satellite technology to determine the monsoon. Next, or to predict the monsoon rather than determining, please write it, we want to predict the monsoon. Next, agricultural education, sustainable farming. These are some of the things that you can even add more benefits of it and just summarize it. Next, now come to what are the negative. First of all, last but not least, it's your consumerism. See, this is the consumerism that basically, what do you mean by consumerism? See, you can see this particular person who is having a laptop, who is having some kind of this, all kind of this flimsy things, again look at this over here, means it's basically says that that the fourth industrial revolution has enhanced this consumerism. How? Let's take it with an example. Now if we have a mobile, if I have a mobile, let's say I'm having a Android 7. Now all of a sudden Android 8 comes. Now I'm very interested in the Android 8. Why? Because I have money to purchase, and even if I have no money to purchase, till then I go and attempt and purchase that because I'm addicted to this technology. Number one, technology addiction. First, consumerism. Next is your technology addiction. Within this also you can write your pornography, how students are being subjected to porn addiction. That is one of the main things that you need to write. Next is your rise in your e-waste. Rise in e-waste. What is e-waste? E means nothing but your electronic wastes. Next is your privacy issues. What is this privacy issue? Privacy issue is nothing but, see, with the increasing internet and with the lack of regulation of the internet has resulted in your data leak. The NSA program of what? Of the United States National Security Agency program was this was completely exposed by Edward Snowden. Snowden said that they utilize this technology to monitor each and every nation in the world. Similarly, remember that one more thing, sir. Basically, in this cartoon, I'm trying to explain you, this is the developed country and this is your least developed or developing country situation. See, they have the technology with them. We do not we lack this technology. Hence, from this fourth industrial revolution, the developed countries are benefiting more than the developing countries, or those who are more investing in your R&D. Now India's investment in R&D is very less. Hence, I hope you got that. These are some of the points that are the negative points that you can highlight, but at the end what you need to write is that, see, fourth industrial revolution will become, with the, see, fourth industrial revolution and the products of the fourth industrial revolution are necessary evil, means we need them no matter what. Hence, last but not the least, I hope you have a clarity over the subject matter. Thank you.